I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
She is one of the biggest entertainers to ever walk this earth. Known for her provocative music videos and stage shows that were banned from MTV and picketed by religious groups, Madonna has cultivated a legendary legacy perfectly suited for the top-selling female artist of all time. Cause that's what she is. But with the music record industry in decline, the days of her record-breaking album sales are over, while also having successful and not so successful ventures into the world of film. So let us gather round, just like all those Reservoir Dogs, because it's time for us to discuss and try to understand this scandalous princess of pop. How did she break down so many walls as an artist and a human being? How did she transform our pop culture? But basically, we just want to know what the f*** happened to Madonna.
It's a Madonna pap smear.
Before we begin, I just want to say thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and make sure to click that bell to get those notifications if you're into this kind of stuff. Now it's time to get back to the show. But to truly understand what the f*** happened to Madonna, we must begin at the beginning, and the beginning began when she was born on her birthday, 1958. Michigan. She would form the band Breakfast Club while beginning her acting career in a film called A Certain Sacrifice, that she hated so much she tried to buy the rights for before it was released, and called the director a fuckface. Madonna thought his face was full of In 1980, while performing with the band Emmy and the Emmys, Warner Brothers would agree to produce her debut album, called Madonna, which featured the hit single Holiday, that became an international top 10 hit, with the album selling over 10 million copies worldwide. After becoming a global fashion icon with her trademark 80s style, she would set records with her next album, 1984's Like a Virgin, becoming the first female artist to ever sell over 5 million albums in the US, with 21 million worldwide. Its title track, Like a Virgin, courted plenty of controversy, with many religious groups calling for the ban of the song and the music video. But in true Madonna fashion, she would not back down for her artistic vision, and in one of the most iconic stage performances of all time, she performed the song live at the Video Music Awards. And it was oh so sexual and oh so scandalous, but nowadays it's actually kind of tame. Madonna would kick off 1985 by meeting and soon marrying actor Sean Penn, followed by appearing in the film Vision Quest, as well as contributing 2 songs to the film's soundtrack. Her next film, Desperately Seeking Susan, would be her biggest yet. She would have the lead role in this $27.3 million grossing film that many critics would feature on their year-end best lists. And there was a 2022 article, hey that's this year, in Rolling Stone magazine naming this one of the best films of the 80s. When you become one of the biggest entertainers in the world, there are people in that world who just want to take it down a notch. For Madonna, it was the pages of Penthouse and Playboy who would publish nude photos of her back in the 70s, when she would take gigs as an art model to pay the bills. With millions of teenage girls idolizing her, those photos caused quite an uproar, but in true Madonna fashion, she never apologized for them once. And perhaps that controversy helped a bit with her next album, True Blue, because it became her best-selling album with over 25 million copies sold worldwide. However, that success in the music industry was met with some failure in the film industry, with her next film opposite then-husband Sean Penn, future ex-husband Sean Penn, I guess, Shanghai Surprise, which would garner Madonna her very first Razzie for Worst Actress. And in her real life, she would go on to win Worst Marriage to Sean Penn, because it didn't last very long, and the singer would file an assault report against the actor on New Year's Eve 1988, serving him with divorce papers a few days later, but ultimately dropping the assault complaint against him. Her next single, Like a Prayer, would be released along with a massive Pepsi sponsorship. I know, it doesn't make any sense. Why? But Pepsi, for some reason, decided that this song should be in a commercial for soda. The video for the song would court heavy controversy when the Vatican publicly condemned it for its use of Catholic symbolism mixed with Madonna's trademark pushing of the envelope sexualization. After much uproar, Pepsi would yank the commercial as well as end their short-lived partnership with the singer. A partnership that never made any f***ing sense to begin with. Madonna would close out the 1980s by being named Billboard's Artist of the Decade before appearing in her highest profile role yet, in the coveted role of Breathless Mahoney, in her then-boyfriend Warren Beatty's film Dick Tracy in 1990. She's really great in this role and would land her a Saturn Award nomination for Best Actress, as well as sell over 7 million albums for the film's tie-in album, I'm Breathless.
I want more.
And she invited us all behind the scenes into the world of Madonna with the documentary Truth or Dare, which chronicled her blonde ambition tour and was black and white, so that makes it all artsy-fartsy and cooler than those regular documentaries. She would follow that up with her first greatest hits album that would sell over 30 million copies and become the best-selling compilation album of all time. Now that's what I call a compilation album, but even that was met with controversy, as one of the new songs from the album, Justify My Love, would feature her signature sexually graphic material and be deemed too sexy for MTV.
To justify my love.
1992 would see Madonna appear in the timeless baseball classic A League of Their Own. And you know what? This is the type of movie that Madonna should have been making. Playing just an interesting supporting character. Just a little Madonna in a movie goes a long way. And I don't really think her celebrity ruins anything about this film. Yeah, I wish she made more like this. She released a tie-in single, This Used to Be My Playground, which would be her 10th #1 hit on the Billboard 100, the most ever for a female artist. At this point, Madonna was a brand onto herself and would launch her own entertainment company, Maverick, which would go on to become the most successful artist-run label ever. Under her new label, she would release her next album, Erotica, followed by the infamous coffee table book, Sags. The book featured some sexually graphic content and was heavily criticized by those heavy critics. Yet it sold over 1.5 million copies in its first few days of release. Many believe that this book overshadowed the album, as Erotica would be her first album to not produce any #1 hits. Madonna's film career would continue to be a bit all over the place, like Madonna. Whether it was starring in the sexually charged noir Body of Evidence in 1993, that Roger Ebert, the guy with the thumbs, listed as one of his most hated movies ever. But then there was the critically praised biopic Evita. This is a role that Madonna would fight for. She would write the director a 4-page letter about why she was perfect for the role. Many people were really against casting Madonna as Evita. Some thought of it as extremely disrespectful for her to play this person. But you know what? Ultimately, I think she kind of proved everyone wrong, winning Best Actress at the Golden Globe Awards back when they mattered. So yeah, that's good. She's got some acting talent in there. Congrats, Madonna.
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
But she would have box office misfires in the 2000s, such as the romantic comedy The Next Best Thing and Swept Away, from her future ex-husband Guy Ritchie. And Swept Away is often found on many lists that list the worst films ever made. Yeah, it's like really, really bad. Just look at it. Look at that. Look how horrible this is. Oh my gosh, worst movie ever, right? I don't know. I haven't seen it, but everyone hates it, so I feel like I'm supposed to. She had smaller roles in films such as Blue in the Face, 4 Rooms, Spike Lee's Girl 6, and the James Bond flick Die Another Day. I think she does some fencing against 007 or something, and she had that song, Die Another Day, while stepping behind the camera for some misfires, Filth and Wisdom, and W.E. that would win her another Golden Globe, this time for Best Original Song, for the song Masterpiece. But you know what, I have to admit, I didn't really appreciate the music and the artistry of one Madonna until I saw the Harmony Korine film Gum Gummo. There's a scene in there where a character is working out and Like a Prayer is playing in the background. And for some reason, the scene just spoke to me. The song perfectly fit. It felt so real, so raw, a nice juxtaposition. Hearing Madonna's music while watching the images of Harmony Korine allowed me to listen to Madonna in a different way. I could feel the hope and the tragedy in her voice. And at least in that moment, I truly understood why Madonna is Madonna. And it's all thanks to Gummo, which I think is really random. It wasn't just Madonna's music videos that courted controversy. While performing in Puerto Rico, she would rub the flag between her legs and would appear on David Letterman where she would hand him her underpants and tell poor Dave to sniff them. The general public seemed to have turned against her, saying that this time she had gone too far. You know, canceling her before the cool kids did it. So maybe because of this, she would begin to tone down her image a bit with her next album, Bedtime Stories, that featured the song Take a Bow, that would remain in first place on the Billboard charts for 7 weeks, the longest of any of Madonna's songs. Miss Madonna has continued to make music that breaks from the traditions, whether it's the Grammy-winning Ray of Light or the record-breaking MDNA, which I guess spells Madonna. Her music continues to push boundaries, with millions of people eager to hear what she's gonna do next. And of course, her stage shows have become stuff of legend, continuously setting records for the most attended shows by a solo artist. And her Super Bowl halftime show in 2012 was watched by over 114 million people, which was more people than the actual football Americano game. People like Madonna more than football? OMG, WTF, LOL. Then she did something kind of weird and bizarre yet interesting. Secret Project Revolution. It was a 17-minute short film. And you know, it's all artsy-fartsy and stuff. But I respect her for trying it. Always allowing herself to grow as an artist. Whether you like it or not. But you know, it's Madonna, and her controversies have continued throughout the years. She really hasn't slowed down. Whether it was her on-again, off-again accent that just kind of appeared out of nowhere, or her high-profile divorce from filmmaker Guy Ritchie, or the adoption of her children, she's always making headlines, in her personal life and her art. And you know what? It could be easy for people coming up in the world today to forget what type of trailblazing artist Madonna truly was. Because in today's social media run world, she has made even more headlines for even more insane stuff, but this time in the form of tweets and, you know, posts. Yeah, her Instagram is something else. But unfortunately, the social media posts of Madonna, to me, come off as that of a faded icon, still trying to remain relevant. And you know what? It's kind of sad to think that an entire generation out there may only know Madonna as that crazy old lady who won't stop posting naked pictures of herself, and not know her as the trend-setting artist that she has been for over 40 years. But you know what? No matter how wacky her latest post may seem, there's really nothing she can do to ruin her legacy. And that's the power of Madonna.
Sorry, her career's over.
Elton John has been on her case ever since.
She really is one of the most influential women to ever live. She does things her own way, and never apologizes for it. Love her or hate her, that's pretty badass. She has been inducted into the UK and the US Rock and Roll Hall of Fames, and remains the top-selling female artist of all time. Sadly, as the years have gone on, and the record industry has seen a tremendous shift, she has taken to social media to continue to try to push the boundaries. But with this cultural shift of our times, these social media outbursts come across as more desperate than boundary pushing.
Come on, road and go. Let's go eat some fried fish. Fried fish.
But if ever there was an artist who could make a full comeback, it's Madonna. Especially since she's in the middle of putting together her own biopic for a film that she will be directing, with Ozark's Julia Garner currently eyed to play this material girl. And I think that's perfect casting. She'll be great. I love this actress. And perhaps when this biopic hits theaters, those same people who think she's just a crazy lady on social media will have a new profound appreciation for her. Because without Madonna, there would be no Ariana Grande, no Katy Perry, no Britney Spears, no other people like that I can't think of. But yeah, Madonna paved the way for every chart-topping female artist since her. And that's what the f*** happened to Madonna.